So here are 9 ideas for capturing cinematic shots with the Hohem iSteady Pro 4 and the GoPro Hero 12. So for even more cinematic shots, the first tip is to get an extension pole and pair it with your Hohem iSteady Pro 4. The Hohem iSteady Pro 4 has a nice little tripod mount here on the bottom, and you can easily attach that to an extension pole. When you do, that increases your reach and your flexibility to do a lot more creative shots, especially something like the Jony shots. So when you extend it outward, you've got a lot of reach here. Here's how you do the Jony shot. You're gonna start off down here at ground level, and you're gonna have your subject go forward, and you're gonna match their speed while you lift this up as you go along, and you're gonna reveal them in the scene. You also can do this while your subject's facing the camera. So you can have your subject walk toward you, and you walk backwards as you lift up, matching your subject's speed. So our next creative shot angle we want to work with is our low to the ground shots. And to do these, what you want to do is you want to flip your gimbal upside down. So you want to have the handle up here, and you want to have the GoPro facing outward. This makes it really easy for you to hold this down close to ground level to get unique shots of your subject. This is good for following your subject from behind. So you can have the gimbal down here, and your subject can be walking forwards. You can follow your subject like this. This is also good for shots for following your subject sideways as they walk along. And you just want to focus on keeping your subject in the back third of the frame and have 2/3 of the frame in front of your subject. The next shot we're going to do is the follow shot. Now for the follow shot, what you want to do is you want to hold your gimbal right here, and you want to center your subject in the frame and have their head in the upper third of the frame. And then what you're going to do is you're going to match your subject's speed as they walk forward. So as your subject moves forward, you're going to match their speed, hold them in the same part of the frame. For the reverse follow, you center your subject in the frame, and the only difference is you will be going backwards while your subject is facing toward you. So when your subject starts moving, you're just going to match their speed, keep them in the same approximate part of the frame. All right, so the next shot type we're going to do is sideways tracking. And it's exactly what it sounds like. I'm simply going to be along the side of my subject, and I'm going to track my subject as they move forward. But there are a couple keys with this. You want to keep the subject in the rear third of the frame. In other words, you want 2/3 of the frame in front of your subject as they're walking in the direction they're walking toward. And then you just want to continue to match your subject speed and follow along with them. Let me show you. So we're gonna have our subject moving along. And one of the keys to this too is to not do the crab walk. Move forwards with your feet and not sideways. So the next shot type we're gonna do is we're gonna do the step-in shot. Basically, you with the gimbal, you're going to be moving forward, and your subject is going to be stepping in at an angle into the frame as you move forward. And then once they get to the center of the frame, they're gonna keep going straight. This is a great way to introduce a character into a scene, and it looks really creative and really good. So I'm going to start moving along straight, and my subject is going to come in diagonally from the left side. She's going to enter the frame here, and I'm going to match her pace. Then when she gets to the center, she's going to keep going straight. All right, so the next scene we're going to capture here is what's called the wipe. And this is going to be a type of transition. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our subject go behind a tree, and we're going to film our subject walking behind it. And then we're going to have our subject come out from behind a second object, such as a tree or a building. And then later on when we edit, we're going to cut those scenes together. Let me demonstrate. All right, so our subject is going to walk along sideways. We're going to have our subject disappear behind that object. And then we're going to select a second object to have our subject come out from behind. So we've got our subject positioned behind this tree, and now I'm going to have her walk out from behind it while I record. Let me demonstrate. So we're going to get up nice and close to the tree, and then our subject's going to walk out, and we're going to pan along. That completes our transition right there. All right, the final gimbal scene we're going to capture is called the reveal turnaround. Now this one is a little bit tricky, but it's not hard once you get it down and practice it a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to first of all tilt our camera up slightly on our gimbal. Angle about like that. It doesn't have to be super steep. So to do this, we're going to start over our subject's right shoulder, and our subject is going to rotate 180 degrees. And while our subject does, we're going to slowly drop down at a diagonal, but keeping our subject in the left part of the frame. That's a great creative way to introduce your subject into a new scene. So those are 9 shot and transition ideas for getting the best cinematic gimbal moves from the Hohem iSteady Pro 4 and the GoPro Hero 12.